It's always important to remind myself and my friends something that's not boasting or arrogant, but it comes in to be extremely important when we listen to somebody talking now or the validity of what they're saying. And that is their track record, which gets easily erased because we have a visual, physical perception of people. In other words, I would often get people telling me what I wanted to hear, which was what? You were right. There is some weird shit going on. I'm seeing numbers on clocks, etc., etc. That seems to be pretty much commonplace these days. Now, what's important is what? People are making fun of you, claiming that that was going to happen in 2010. But come December 2012, everybody's talking about how trippy it is that there's numbers on clocks like 444, 1111, etc., etc. That alone is something everyone should have locked in and paid attention to. This is an important part of this. From Don's standpoint, because he wants all the glory, no, it's how the fuck did Don know that was going to happen? No, I'm serious. We're not talking about you're going to meet a girl in a red dress at the bar. This guy predicted that we were all going to start seeing numerical sequences on clocks 2 years ago. Boasted he's talking to God or something, and then we do. That's not a one-on-one prediction. Let's be honest, Nostradamus-like. Yeah, except I didn't fucking fake it in a quatrain. I said what it was going to happen and when it was going to happen. That was important. Because you want credit? No, because I never said I was predicting it myself. I told you where I was getting the information. You accepting that that was accurate was key to what? Keeping pure and angelic. Now, I'm not saying other people who don't admit to that weren't keeping a little bit dirty. But what I'm saying is, I had been given clear orders beforehand. People don't know that, of what I was to expect. And one of them was, you're going to have a hard time looking normal. You're going to look like you're on drugs. You're going to look like a kook. And you're going to be shunned by people. And do you know why? Yeah. It was the greatest way to determine who's who around here. Because trust me, what bad people don't like Don. No, they try to get close to him, but they really don't like him. They might be able to access some information or whatnot from him. And Don's gotten knocked down a few times. But that's once they kind of team up on him spiritually. Overall, Don walks in a room, whatever two people leave the room immediately, there's your answer. And people caught on to that. Yes, they did. Very quick. But some people who aren't around Don not only don't see that, but whatever's around them is going to totally paint a fake, constructed picture of Don. And it's going to be, he's a monster, he's evil, and he's dark. It's not going to be, he's a wonderful person. And just like in the movies, it's not a joke. It's not an idea that I grabbed and said, hey, let's apply this to a human being. It's the other way around. It's a human being, and they went and attached that to a golden box in Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. If you are not honest or real or know the truth, I'm not saying I always tell the truth. I'm saying I lie all the fucking time, but I admit it. Have you ever done drugs? Yeah, I admit it. In fact, I'll say I did crack. Self-deprecation, a key ingredient to the ark. Thank you. I will already disassemble myself. There's nothing you can say to insult me. Hell, I jacked off to your picture last night. How about that? That kind of honesty frightens the devil. Because of judgments. And that's something you learn from what? Well, my whole life I was that way. But that's definitely something I got in very powerful spiritual form, in a loving form, from what I considered a God. And I said, well, if it's not God, it's definitely not the devil. And if it isn't God, it's definitely something that does a damn good job of imitating it. And it was so beyond anything I could have imagined. I sure as hell couldn't write it off as being a hallucination or a movie script. And when it tells you, did you see it? Did you feel it? Okay. Are you scared of that? Do you respect that? Or do you respect them over there telling you you're nuts? Okay. Don, go and tell them. And remember what? Whatever you do, I don't care. You're never going to get punished by me. I walk around like I own the world. And if I had $1 for every person that said they or someone else they knew was going to kick my ass, do you know what that does when Don, you say that to Don? What? It just confirms that he really did talk to God. Because that's what God told him. And what did God tell you, Don? Look him right in the eye and see what happens. Look him right in the eye and see what happens. And Don got mad. Why? Because then people started coming up and putting guns in his face for real on the street. Don looked in their eye and they ran away. And what did Don say? God, you're doing this on purpose, aren't you, you motherfucker? No, that's not funny, dude. But Don, did you see what happened? Yeah? Okay. So everything y'all do, you're not punking Don. You're proving God. How do you know it's God? It's been 6 years, Don's still standing here. And you're all talking about some shit that Don talked about in 2010. And most of the stuff you claim your man's talking about, because I said what? No relationships. No relationships. No women, no kids for Don. Everyone else is out dating. I wasn't kidding. You do not want to be the person out there looking for dick or looking for pussy. Because, what? We got you on target. Every one of the angelics that I spoke to, even before admitting they were angelic, they thought they were just psychic, heard that call. Heard the call. What? We're not supposed to like get date or get pregnant or anything like that. Everyone knew that. I don't know how everyone knew that. And then there were some, what, had like 4 babies in the last 5 years. Problem? Yeah. I wish I had a car. Incubus? No, succubus. I gotta take the bus again. You're around too much negative spiritual energy. Consider it karma. What? You know what I'm talking about. All one. A-L-O-N-E. Alone. Find yourself. You know you're not comfortable with yourself. You've always been looking for a man or a guy who's been looking for a woman. Don, you're just as guilty. I know I am. I get burned all the time. I get burned all the time. It's like vampires till they come up to Don. Yeah, bullshit. What do you mean, yeah, bullshit? You're doing it with every other guy. I know they show your texts to other people and blah, blah, blah. They try to get you guys into fighting each other. We know how it works. Game's over. Game's over. Now, are we giving witness protection program to people who want to speak? Absolutely. Anytime. And Jillian, you know what you need to do? What? You need to come over and look into it. Because we think you want out. Because you aren't looking so good right now. No pun intended. Lots of research. Lots of information. No, you don't have people like Don does. You know how Don is. He's very serious about it. You know what Don does. You can change your story and not even know you're changing your story. But too many people now go, dude, you totally fucking just changed your story. Thank you. Because I thought I was going crazy. Well, I don't care what they say. Well, Don did, so he made sure to get people who really knew what they were talking about and were trusted. Okay? You can try to disassemble anything he wants, that he's lying, that he did this, that he did that. Any corner you want to get out of and say that you never said that or I didn't do this. Okay? Don didn't find a crackhead on the street and say, hey man, listen to this voicemail. Don told him blow by blow, no pun intended, what was going on. The suffering he was going through and the things that was going on with you. Eternal sunshine on the spotless mind? God damn right. That's when Don learned about Mandela effect. Why? Because the doctors told him about it. Because of you. You did tell Don you were in an accident and that they notified you and you did not remember the accident. Now you say, no, I remembered it all along. That is not true. That is not true. That's not what you told me. Now, do you think that you remember the accident now? Yes, that's apparently part of this. It's so bad out there in the globe right now that everyone asks everyone else, hey, have you noticed me lying? Or have you noticed anything about me changing the story? And 90% of the time it's, no, I have not. But with a certain group of people, everybody that you don't see or are allowed to see says, dude, yeah, dude, she's weird. She's changing all her stories. Kristen Myers, the stalker on Don's page, that everybody saw and posted pictures of this so-called John that were identical to Jillian's, but the other girl was in there. That's a bizarre spiritual event. But I'll tell you one thing, it's not. It's not real. Kristen didn't come to harass Don. She came to Don for help.